guys, I'm here with Audrey, and we have sold baby Julia. So Audrey's going to say goodbye to her.
We didn't sell her yet, Mama.
Oh, I did sell her, Audrey. There's somebody who already decided to buy her. So I need to get her packed up.
I don't even need her anymore because you're making me a doll.
I am making you a doll.
I want to have a spot for her.
Yes, you do want to have a spot for her.
So,
do you want to give baby Julia one last hug?
Yeah.
Before we pack her up? You want to give her one last hug? Okay, gentle, gentle. Aww. Are you going to miss her? Aww.
I remember having all those fun vacations with her.
Yes.
Like here I have a Lego set.
Okay.
I made it.
Okay, guys.
Oh,
all right.
So
here's baby Julia.
Poor Julia.
Yeah, so we're gonna get her sold. She's gonna get packed up and she's gonna go to a new mommy. She's gonna be very excited about her.
Here.
Yeah, that's.
You want to see the little?
Oh, I know.
She's been in my bed. Here can.
Okay. So sorry. Yeah, we. I'll make sure she's all.
She's like dressed in my favorite color. Is she gonna come with this clothes?
Yeah, I'm just gonna send her home in this one outfit, okay, and in a lovey. We'll do that. So.
A lovey?
Yeah, like a little stuffed animal or something.
Oh, perfect. Let me find one. Let's find one, Mama.
Okay, we'll go find one together. All right, guys. Next video you'll see it'll be us packing her up. Okay, guys, I am back with baby Julia, and we are going to do her box packing. For those of you guys who do not know about her, she is an Ivita Silicone doll, and I had purchased her before I knew about the controversy surrounding Ivita dolls. So I can't recommend the company in good conscience. They are known for, I guess, copying sculpts from artists. And so anyway, so somebody had messaged me asking if they could buy her. I had bought her for Audrey, and so she was Audrey's baby, but Audrey has really kind of lost interest in her. She hasn't really been playing with her at all. And so so we're going to go ahead and just let her go to a new mommy. And so I wanted to go ahead and get her all packed up. And I wanted to show you guys this this cute little note that Audrey wrote for the new mommy. Her name is Anna. So it just says, "Dear Anna, please take care of my doll. From Audrey. Enjoy." This is really cute. So anyway, so I'll kind of put that at the bottom so it doesn't get too splashed. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just get her all packed up. And you know, I kind of debated whether to do a box packing video of her because, you know, I feel like anytime I do a video and show any doll, I'm kind of indirectly advertising for that company. But I wanted to do it at least for the new mommy who's adopting her. She seems like a really nice lady. And I know this doll is going to be really appreciated by her. So, you know, so I want to go ahead and just do the box packing for her sake. So she's not coming home with a huge box opening because her price is so inexpensive. So anyway, so here she is, and she isn't going to be like absolutely perfect just because she has been loved on and played with. But I'm going to send her home with this teddy bear and a swimsuit by Janie and Jack, and this is a brand new swimsuit, which you can really only use these swimsuits if you have a full body silicone baby. But isn't that so cute? So I thought I'd just send her with something fun. And then her purple headband and a pacifier. So go ahead and get some of these things wrapped up. And yeah, so as I am filming this, I went to the funeral for my nanny yesterday. Just flew up and down. I'm originally from the San Francisco Bay Area, and so she's still living up there. So we flew up and it was just nice because we finally got to meet some of her family that I only heard about but had never met before. It's so sad that, you know, somebody has to pass away before you sometimes meet other people that are important to that person's life, because if your circles just never cross paths, there'd be really no reason to get together. So anyhow, so that was nice to kind of get to meet some of the people who are special to her, and I was really glad that we got to do that. And we just flew up and down the same day. So yes, that was cool. I wanted to chat a little bit as well, because this baby I sold privately. which means I never really listed her for sale. But I wanted to talk about just like my experience selling my Kylie, my Natalie by Izzy Zhao. And after that experience, you guys, I kind of understand why why artists do the silent auction. Because I posted the doll. I wasn't even the original artist or anything like that. But I got so many inquiries. Some of the inquiries were asking about price and things like that, which is to be expected. And then there were other inquiries that were like, just, and I got a lot of inquiries like with interest in her. There were very few that were able to pay in full. But I basically had two buyers who were willing to pay in full that I was kind of deciding between. And I didn't even, at that point, say like, okay, I'm down to two buyers. I'm trying to decide between you guys, because I had so many people who were going to purchase her that I felt like so sure we're going to purchase her, and then they backed out for whatever reason. And that happens, you guys, when you're trying to buy and sell dolls. Like you do end up wasting a lot of time fielding questions, sending photos and stuff like that. And it's totally normal. So I don't fault anybody for asking for photos, asking for more information, because that is just the normal part of buying and selling. But then it makes it really hard because you don't know who's like actually serious or who's just kind of curious what the price of the doll is. So that is really tough. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up Julia in this blanket, and then I will bubble wrap her. So it's kind of how we will do it. So we'll kind of swaddle her up, and we'll get her all wrapped up. So anyway, so I share all this because I had one prospective buyer get pretty upset with me. So, and I won't name names or anything like that, but I will say this is a buyer who I think, first of all, when she messaged me, she didn't she didn't write a very long message. She just said, "I'm interested in the doll. How much is the doll?" and blah 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 blah. And then she kind of said, "Yeah, I will pay in full," and all this stuff. And so I was immediately like a little bit skeptical to start with, just because, just the communication, it wasn't like really well-written communication, if that makes sense. And so, so anyway, so I messaged with her back and forth, and I said, okay, you can pay in full, that's great. Well, do you have a reference that I could check? So she gave me a reference, and I reached out to the reference, and it was somebody that she had purchased a reborn from. And then I found out from the seller that when she got the reborn, she looked at it in like dark lighting and was complaining the doll did not look like her pictures. And then and the artist was like, oh gosh, maybe try looking at it in natural light and things like that. And I guess like she was also seemed to be a little bit of a high maintenance buyer, like wanting to change the gender of the baby and stuff like that, and just have the artist put the baby in different kinds of clothes, boy clothes, girl clothes, etc. So I guess I kind of thought, so she just sounded maybe a little bit higher maintenance than perhaps would be ideal. And so yeah, so I guess like for me, and then it sounded like also that she was a child. She wasn't even, totally, like she was under 18 and needed her parents' permission and all this stuff. And I kind of thought, how is somebody who's that young going to afford an expensive doll? So then it made me worried that maybe she was, that she didn't really have permission to purchase the doll and things like that. And potentially could be using a parent's credit card unauthorized. But anyway, the fact that the reference she provided told me it wasn't the best experience definitely made me wary. And and even if I didn't have the other buyer, I wouldn't have sold to her anyway, because I just didn't feel comfortable at the end of the day. And I think for a transaction, you know, like a silicone baby especially, you have to feel comfortable to move forward. So anyway, I let her know that I had moved forward with somebody else, and she got all upset with me, when really, like, I was deciding between two buyers at around the same time. Like, the inquiries came around the same time. But she got really upset that I had gone with this other buyer who had just, you know, who had purchased from, you know, silicone artists I'm familiar with, and I'd kind of seen her on Facebook and had seen her make comments before. I don't know her personally or anything like that, but it just seemed like she just seemed more legit to me. And so, yeah, so ultimately that was why I decided to sell to her. So anyway, that's baby Julie's box packing. But I'll finish my chat really quickly, or maybe I'll finish it on the next video. Yeah, but anyway, it can be, all this to say, it can be hard to kind of buy and sell dolls. So anyway, I understand why some artists will use more of an auction, or even the, you know, okay, PME or highest bid, because it can sometimes be hard to know what's the fair way to sell a baby. I think ultimately, as a seller, I need to be comfortable with the buyer. So if I get an inquiry and I'm just not comfortable, just because that person inquired first doesn't mean I'm under any obligation to sell to that person. So just, I guess, remember that when you're inquiring about a baby for sale. Try to be nice, try to be polite, try to treat that person, you know, respectfully and politely and kindly. So when I decided to sell this baby to somebody else, I did let her know that I decided to move forward with a different buyer. And she said, you know, basically she said something to the effect of, "You're not a good seller. That's not fair. I inquired first." And it's like, well, wait a minute. How would you know that you inquired first? I actually got messaged around the same time. Like, it was like day one, I got so many messages from so many different people those first 2 or 3 days. And so I don't think that selling babies, it's necessarily first come, first served. Like, I think that especially when it's a high dollar value transaction, I have to be comfortable. If it's something that's cheaper, like if I were selling one of my Paradise Galleries babies or something like that, that would be different. But this is a silicone baby that's worth, you know, thousands of dollars. It's just not something I'm going to sell to anyone, because I don't want to get scammed. So that was my experience, and I thought it was interesting that she felt that it was unfair that she felt it was unfair that I had decided to sell to this other lady who, you know, had just a more solid reputation in the doll community. So anyway, I don't know if you guys experience the same thing when you're selling a baby and you get so many inquiries. Like, how do you navigate that? Like, I felt like it was almost like a part-time job trying to answer all the questions and emails and things like that. And not knowing who's serious and who's not, and that sort of thing. So anyway, in this case, like, you know, it was so nice just to do a private sale, like, and this is not a high dollar value baby, so I felt like fine just to sell her privately. And I just thought, you know what, it's just easier to do it this way. And I also didn't want to make a whole video advertising Julia for sale, because I'm trying not to really call attention to the Ivita Silicones. I won't purchase from them again. I just think, you know, I would just hope that they would, you know, sculpt their own. If they would sculpt their own, I don't mind if they're going to make a cheap silicone baby. That's fine. But it's a bummer that these companies like Baby Clon, like Ivita, like they do copy artist sculpts. So it's just something I want to be very clear about, you know, because I know I'm posting this box packing, but really more for her new mommy's benefit. And since I already purchased her, like, I think, you know, I think purchasing something secondhand, even if you don't agree how it was made firsthand, you're at least not putting another one into circulation, if that makes sense. Just like, for example, you know, with fast fashion, there's so much controversy with so many of these companies, you know, really not producing their clothes and paying their workers a fair wage. So, you know, I've read books that have encouraged purchasing secondhand, because then you're not like putting those, I guess, first-hand garments into circulation, if that makes sense. I don't know if I make any sense at all, but I think that's kind of how I think you can feel a little bit better buying one secondhand than buying one originally from the company. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was enlightening and helpful. And yeah, I might have to chat more about the whole process of buying and selling, because I just really, it makes a lot more sense to me now why artists do the silent auctions and why they do regular auctions, because, you know, I guess it gives everyone a fair chance, but then the auctions have their problems too, because then you have non-paying bidders and things like that, which can be really irritating. So, it's just a huge hassle, and there are scammers on eBay and things like that, so you don't really have any control of who wins your auction. So anyway, so I think I still like just setting a price and selling it to a buyer that, you know, that I feel comfortable with. And I feel bad because I know that there are probably some awesome first time silicone buyers out there who would not, you know, think of scamming anybody and all of that, but they just aren't as well known in the community, or they may not have references. So I, you know, so it's so hard because like, it's just such a risk. Like these transactions feel so risky. So, but what I would say is, you know, if you're, yeah, and you know, I'll just have to make another video about this because I don't want this video to get too long. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you will subscribe if you're new, and wish baby Julia well as she heads off to her new mommy. All right, thanks guys. Bye.